welcome to the next in our study of cities of the Bible. Today we're looking at one city and one pair of cities, that of Samaria and Tyre and Sidon. First to Samaria. Samaria is probably best known as the setting for Jesus' visit with the woman at the well, John chapter 4 and verses 5 to 42. But Samaria's importance as both a city and a region was well established long before the time of Jesus. This ancient city is second only to Jerusalem and Babylon in the number of times it is mentioned in the Bible. One of the most striking features of Samaria was its hilltop location. Built by King Omri about 880 BC as the capital of the northern kingdom of Israel, it contributed significantly to the history and culture of ancient Israel. Samaria was one of the few major Jewish cities actually founded and built from the ground up by the Israelites. They took most of their cities from other nations and then either rebuilt or renovated them into distinctively Jewish population centers. After succeeding Omri as king, Ahab, who reigned from 874 to 853 BC, remodeled and expanded Omri's beautiful palace in the city of Samaria. Some of Ahab's decorations, especially the expensive ivory with which he adorned his furniture and palace walls, have been discovered by archaeologists. But in spite of its wealth and splendor, the city fell to the Assyrians in 722 BC, fulfilling Amos's prophecy of its destruction, Amos chapter 3 and verses 11 to 15. The citizens of Samaria were carried away to Assyria as captives. After its fall to the Assyrians, Samaria continued to be inhabited by several different groups under the successive authority of Assyria, Babylonia, Persia, Greece, and Rome. Herod the Great, Roman governor of Palestine, who ruled from 37 BC to AD 4, made many improvements to the city and renamed it Sebasta, the Greek term for Augustus, in honor of the Emperor of Rome. This Herodian city is probably the city of Samaria mentioned in the book of Acts, Acts chapter 8 and verse 5. The next two cities that we're looking at are Tyre and Sidon. And these were two Phoenician seaport cities, about 25 miles apart on the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. For the most part, Israel had a good relationship with these cities. The Phoenician king, Hiram, was a trading partner of both David and Solomon. He provided building materials as well as skilled tradesmen to help build the temple and Solomon's palace complex in the city of Jerusalem. Why then did the prophet Ezekiel utter such bitter words against Tyre in Ezekiel chapter 26? It was probably because of the taunting attitude demonstrated when the nation of Judah was overrun by the Babylonians in 586 BC. Ezekiel chapter 26 and verse 2. Judah's collapse meant that Phoenicia was a region with little competition in central Palestine. Their trade monopoly complete, Tyre and Sidon rejoiced. Their insatiable greed and prideful attitude led Ezekiel to issue his bitter condemnation. When Ezekiel spoke these words, the cities of Tyre and Sidon had no peers on the Mediterranean shores. As early as 1000 BC, the two cities had emerged as important population centers. As the leader of a group of small city-states, Sidon first grew to prominence in trade. After a time, it was eclipsed by Tyre, which established an empire based on maritime trade. The ships of Tyre sailed as far away as Great Britain and North Africa on trading ventures. As predicted by Ezekiel, the cities of Tyre and Sidon were eventually judged by God. Tyre was thought to be invincible because part of the city was located offshore, completely surrounded by the sea. But the Greek conqueror Alexander the Great built a causeway to the city and destroyed it in 332 BC. After the Romans became the dominant world power, they rebuilt Tyre. The ruins of this city are visible today, and you can see that in the illustration here. This illustration is of Samaria, not of Tyre and Sidon. Both Tyre and Sidon are mentioned in the New Testament. Jesus visited both cities during his ministry, Matthew chapter 15, verses 21 to 28. Paul also visited a Christian community in Tyre, staying with believers there for a week during his third missionary journey, Acts chapter 21 and verses 1 to 6. Thanks very much.